Scandal rocks the sporting world.
Lottery winner hides prize from family.
And a mountain in Oregon is named this in the year 2022?
178 people with the same name were all in one spot.
How would you sneak into a jail to meet with your lover?
This dude clapped 1,140 times in a minute for the world record. This is so unimportant.
Do not change your life. This is the Unimportant Podcast.
We're eventually going to not suck at the opening to this show, but we are not there yet.
I will believe it when I see it.
Right.
Somebody said that term to me the other day. They were like, I'll see it when I believe it. And I kind of thought, you know what? Psychologically, that does make sense.
That's probably more accurate.
And you're lying to yourself, but if you believe it, then maybe you will see it. Like if there's some
but it's not, hold on. It's not a lie if you believe it.
So that's the thing. If there's some quirk that somebody's like, hey, you do this all the time, and you like, no, I don't. And then you believe that you do it, you'll start noticing it. I don't know.
No, this is a real thing. Like studies have been done on this. Like
I'll
the people
believe
who practice free throws in their head thousands and thousands of time and then come out and are phenomenal having never done free throws before.
Is that a real thing?
Oh yeah, no, it's a real thing. They took two groups of people that one of them did not do any practice at free throws at all. And then I'll start over. They both went out and took free throws to get a baseline. Then one group did nothing. The other group went and practiced like 5,000 free throws in their head. When they went back, the group that had done all the free throws in their head were miles better at free throws than the other group. And they were about the same at the beginning. It's crazy.
That's fascinating. Well, speaking of sports, hold on to your hats because this is shocking. Scandal has scorched across the sporting world and shaken it to its core in the world of professional cornhole. So I feel like context to set this up. There was a time where Anthony and I thought that we would be professional cornhole players, and I still think that's possible.
I think it was a really bad decision not to pursue that opportunity.
It's one of those things like had we at the time started a routine of practicing our cornhole game, we would have been at this point we would have been phenomenal.
Are professional cornholers? Well, first of all, what are they called? Are they cornhole players? Or are they cornholers?
Oh, I don't know. I'm
gonna go with cornholers because that sounds way better.
Okay.
Are these full-time athletes?
The good ones. 100%. The good ones. Yeah,
that's all they do. Just cornhole all day long.
Yeah, because you gotta remember too. There's prize money in the corn. Well, first things first. Now, right? Cornhole's on ESPN. Like it's not like a nothing thing anymore that you just do with your buddies at a bar and like, oh hey, we entered a tournament. Like no, it's on ESPN. And while being on ESPN, obviously the prize money is substantially bigger, but also they look like NASCAR drivers with their uniforms that have sponsors all over the place. Because they're like, who are the types of people that play cornhole? I would imagine the type of person that plays cornhole is the type of person that plays a tailgate game with one hand, and what do they have in their other hand? A beer. And which beer company wants to support the league champion, the world champion cornholers? I don't know. They're paying quite a bit of money, I would imagine.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, the cornhole world was rocked recently with a cheating scandal. A cheating scandal.
How do you cheat at cornhole? I think I'm about to find out, but I just what?
It makes sense. It actually makes sense. A cheating scandal dubbed as Baggate, because everything's a gate. If you cheat or something, it's a gate.
Mm-hmm.
There's what's the most Deflate Gate? Obviously Watergate.
Yep.
There was some TV show that they were talking about. This is a gate. Like, no, it's not a gate. It's not big enough to be a gate.
What do you have to do to reach gate status? Like, what is the qualifications for?
Apparently, do whatever these guys did.
All right, let's hear it.
I just think this article is written funny. A cheating scandal dubbed Baggate has sent shockwaves around professional cornhole world. The controversy sparked in August of 2022 at the American Cornhole League World Championships in South Carolina. This is the same problem I have with like baseball. Like, why do you get to call it the World Series? Like,
yeah, the World Championship.
You picked a sport that only your country plays, and then the winner of that sport gets called the World Series Championship. Like, yeah,
only your country plays, and really, it's only like the lower 24 states I think they play, anyways. Like,
seriously, which is I get. What do I have? If there's something that I only do I get to be like the world's best?
Dude, this is my retirement dream. So here's my retirement plan. I'm going to pick one thing that very, very, very few people do.
Oh, yeah.
And then spend 9 months becoming better than them at it, or 2 years, or however long it takes. And then I'll be the world authority on purple butterflies or whatever I decide to. And I'll travel around the world giving talks to probably like 6 people at a time, but who cares? Like, travel around being the guy on whatever, some ridiculous thing.
So, okay, 10,000 hours divided by 40, that's 250 weeks.
Yeah.
So it takes you about 5 years to become literally because what if 10,000 hours is what you need to be like the premier expert on something? I don't think that's true, but
because I know people who've been doing things for way longer than 10,000 hours, and they're not even marginally capable of doing it. But I also know people who like just show up and are good. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying at very, very least, if you do something for 5 years, you will be good at it probably. Yeah. And if your expertise is purple butterflies, then I would imagine it's probably going to be less than that. Devin Harbaugh, I don't know if there's any relation here to the Harbaugh brothers, filed a formal complaint.
The unsuccessful Harbaugh.
Is he though? Is he
right?
Unsuccessful?
He's a professional.
He's a professional athlete. Devin Harbaugh filed a formal complaint against cornhole players Mark Richards and Philip Lopez, claiming the #1 ranked cornhole doubles team was using illegal beanbags, which just sounds funny to say.
I would assume there's all kinds of strict regulations on cornhole.
Oh, there is. And it kind of makes sense, too. He said, I thought the bags were too thin, Harbaugh asserted. A $15,000 purse was on the line in the game in which the competitors tossed the bags, yada, 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 yada. $15,000. Again, if that's one tournament and you've got, a tournament every weekend in a different city, you can stack some pretty legitimate cash, especially when you're including sponsors and TV deals. The bottom line here is, and I don't want to, go too far off the rails, but the bottom line here is that the cornhole people were, I don't know, the bean bags were too skinny. That's the bottom line here. Like, without going into the stringent details, the bean bags were just too skinny. Holy cow! But listen to this. These are some interesting stats. The ACL, which is an interesting term for the
American Cornhole League.
Yeah, the American Cornhole League. Like, hey, if you tear your ACL, you can still compete in the ACL. Has 155,000 members. That's unreal.
What do you qualify as a member? Are these people who play or people who watch or?
Top ACL players can earn around $250,000 a year from annual winnings, endorsements, and sponsorship agreements. That's a real job. Like that's a real job.
That's a real job.
I don't know. I don't know what you have to do to be a world-renowned cornhole person. But obviously, so if you have smaller bean bags, right, they're going to be more aerodynamic and they're going to be able to go into the hole easier, I would imagine. But obviously not too small. But anyways, so mark that down. We'll title this episode, Man Complains About the Size of Other Man's Beanbag.
The size of the hole was deemed regulation.
I think that's kind of it here. This is just some funny photos of just like the action photos in this article of the just the guys tossing the bean. Like, there's this photo right here that maybe we'll have inserted later. Just the full like this, and the beanbag is in the air. It's just funny.
Nice. So did they were they actually cheating? Has this been resolved?
The ACL announced the ACL announced its intentions to check bags at random at tournaments, which I don't know why they weren't already doing.
So it's an ACL TSA, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like baseball now, right? Like every time the pitcher
they go out and check the hat and
they do all the all that stuff. There's a tangent I could go off here, but I'm not going to. But yeah, I guess the bottom line is they're going to start checking bags, which now, if you think about it, like if these are bigger-ish tournaments and there's like $250,000 on the line annually, you would think they'd already have a system in place to check the regulations for the bags and the boards. And
but you only come up with that system when you think you need it. You know, it's like every warning sign has an idiot behind it that made the sign necessary.
Yeah, but I feel like at that level, you would probably have. I mean, yeah, you're probably right. I just did at that level. It kind of surprises me. Like, yeah, they didn't like. I didn't even know you could use your own bags. Like, I would assumed that the
I would have thought it was like the NBA or whatever, where you show up and there's bags.
Yeah, they don't bring their own. Well, I guess the NFL does. So, anyways, that's about it on that.
All right. Well, lottery winner dons mascot costume to hide jackpot from family.
I do not disagree with this at all.
Seriously, dude. I'm assuming that you have come up with your plan if you suddenly won the lottery or came into $100 million or whatever, like exactly what you would do.
You may not know that I have already done that.
You're not lying.
That's part of my plan.
No,
the reason I haven't done that, or the reason you know that I haven't done that, is because you still can contact me. I think if I win the lottery, my wife will know, and just about everyone else will randomly see me walking about the street with both middle fingers high in the air, and then never see me ever again.
That's funny. No, I have a plan. I have spent probably more time than is productive thinking about this.
I think I've heard most of those ideas, but are you going to hit us with the actual?
I'll hit you with the spark notes. First thing you do is nothing, because what everybody messes up is they're like, oh my gosh, and immediately just go start doing stuff, and they make terrible decisions. So you do absolutely nothing. You continue going to work. You keep doing your daily routine. Absolutely nothing for like 3 months until like the excitement of like, oh my gosh, I'm rich is like worn off a little. Yeah. Then you set aside some of the money. Like, let's say if you want 100 million, set aside 1 million, quit all your jobs so you have unlimited time and live off that the exact same way you're living now. And over the next like 6 months, a year, come up with a plan of like, what am I going to do with $100 million to enjoy my life, but also like make sure it, continues to grow and be productive as money should. And you go from there. Nothing, then very slow ramp up and then have a great time.
I think that makes sense. But would you tell anybody? Because that's this whole guy's thing, right?
No.
Yeah, no. This whole guy's thing is he didn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah. So
he just hid it from his family.
Well, I actually have questions now because I guess I'm a little surprised that China has a lottery, honestly, if I'm being honest. Like, does that sound weird to you?
No, because the government makes a ton of money on lotteries.
That's a good point.
They keep half of it.
It was a little over $30 million that he won. He kept it from his wife too, and his children.
I would definitely keep it from my children. Like I get that. I think my wife would probably be the only one that knows. And if I was one of those people that hated my wife, nobody would know. But I do happen to like mine.
Hold on. So just pause for a second. This is unrelated, but there are now rumors circulating that Tom Brady came back to the NFL because he did not want to get his $300+ million check from Fox until his divorce was settled, which makes a lot of sense.
Oh.
That because everybody's like he's not playing well. He retired and then a month later decided to come back, and everybody was like, "Why?" We all joked about like, "Oh, he was with his kids."
Does he have a bad offensive line?
What's that?
Is he not playing well, or does he have a bad offensive line?
They're losing. I don't know. Nothing down there looks that good, honestly. But like, that kind of makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It's
That
like
makes-
when
makes
Joe
sense.
Rogan. It's like when Joe Rogan moved to Texas like 3 months before they announced that Spotify was
Yeah.
paying him 9 figures.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Now, especially considering that when you're talking about money, Giselle makes him look poor.
Right.
Which is
But after he makes $400 million from Fox, he's certainly catching up.
still not quite a bit. I think I read somewhere, I don't know how true this is. You know how some people like say things sometimes and you just go on the rest of your life believing that thing regardless of how true it is?
Yes, it's usually when you're like 11 and then you're 34 and wake up, you're like, that's not true at all.
Somebody said that Giselle Bundchen is per capita the highest grossing Brazilian export ever.
That makes
Not
sense.
like product wise. Yeah, no, I think so too. Like product wise, everything. She's brought in more, because if you account for all of her, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. I'm more interested in this lottery thing, because I feel like I've said this, and I think a lot of people have the same things. Winning the lottery for most people is guaranteed to ruin your life.
Oh, no doubt.
Like it's the worst possible thing that could happen to you.
See, if I won the lottery, I would ruin your life. That's what I would do. Rich guy pranks are the best. like
Hold
Anthony,
on. I think
Anthony, why were 75,000 Tootsie Pops delivered to my house today?
Yeah, I think I need to rephrase what you said. Rich guy pranks would be the best.
Yeah,
I have not yet participated in
I don't
one.
actually know firsthand.
There's a Jimmy Kimmel thing where there's a clip from a while ago, like somebody like lit his car on fire, his like $100,000 Escalator, something of that sort. I don't know if it was lit on fire or like filled with popcorn or something crazy.
Yeah,
But it's just like, this is a very expensive prank.
yeah.
But you know, if $100,000 car is the same as $5 to you, oh, I would spend a lot of $5 bills.
A lot of $5 bills. I've got a quote in here too. So this guy says, I have not told my wife or children. I am concerned that they might feel superior to other people and will not work or study hard in the future.
I don't think that's a direct quote because it was in English, and I'm sure this man speaks Chinese. Are you going to attempt the Chinese?
No, that was me translating on the fly.
Wow. It was very, very good. It's impressive.
Yeah, I learned Mandarin this week.
I would do the same thing. I wouldn't tell anybody except for like, I definitely wouldn't tell my kids. I'd tell my wife. I would not tell my kids.
For a little bit.
I agree with him. I don't know if I
For a
would go
little
as far as to wear a mascot's mask. I probably would have just hired an attorney.
To accept the
Like,
money.
hey, here's $5,000. Go collect my winnings for me.
That's hilarious. Like, that's the difference between like somebody who has been rich and someone who's instantly rich. Like, somebody actually rich would have, like, who's been rich would have sent an attorney. This guy's first thought was costume.
I need to hide I need a costume. Yeah. I can't seek ambiguity by ambiguity.
He'll learn.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
So I thought this was kind of interesting. And it was interesting because I don't know, it's just a funny story. So there's a lot of components to this. Some lady, we'll call her, decided, well, she just pled guilty to sneaking in to a detention facility to visit her boyfriend / lover. I don't know what they call it in here. So-and-so, I don't know if I need to use her name, was sentenced on Wednesday in Miami federal court after pleading guilty to misdemeanor charges for attempting to enter and entering a federal facility using fraud and false pretenses to see her romantic partner. So this lady disguised herself as a paralegal and entered the facility needing him to sign some paper, quote unquote, needing him to sign some paperwork. Now, what I think is fascinating about this is where she went wrong, right? You know how, like, I hate to be any kids out there watching this, which I can't imagine you are. Don't take this advice. But a long time ago, I think it was like a math class of mine, I was copying off another kid's test. And I said to the teacher, I said to one of my teachers, I got in trouble for cheating. And he said, no, you got in trouble for cheating badly.
You get in trouble for getting caught.
Yeah, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. This lady disguised herself as a paralegal, which when I say disguised herself, I mean,
what does that entail?
Yeah, you just look like a normal person. But she printed up on she found a law practice, printed out their letterhead. She found a letterhead that they used, blocked out or photoshopped their verbiage, and then put her own verbiage on there saying that she needs to be there to get this person to sign legal paperwork or whatever. This worked like 3 times. Like, she got through the security 3 different times to get into the prison as a paralegal. But finally, somebody in the prison was like, hey, I should call this office. And so they called the office on the letterhead, and they're like, we have never heard of this lady before in our entire life.
She didn't put her own phone number.
If she had just made her own letterhead, she would have still been getting away with it. This is you didn't get in trouble for breaking the law. You got in trouble for breaking the law badly. I'm not
being an idiot.
I'm not a proponent of people breaking the law, but if you're going to break the law, if you're gonna be stupid, at least be smart about it.
Yeah. That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people have been arrested for breaking into prison. I feel like movies and TV shows make it seem like that's a lot more common than it is.
Yeah, well, but at the same time, like, who knows? This is one lady in one prison or jail or detention facility, whatever it is. You know how many people? There's probably a ton of people that just do this. Like, who's gonna check?
That's a good point.
Well, and I'm thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. This hypothetically, Mr. FBI guy that's been assigned to my file, hypothetically, it would cost me $10 a month to build my own legal website and say, and you can even word it in such a way that alludes to the fact that you're a law office, but never actually explicitly say, oh, I'm a bar recognized attorney.
That's a good point. We represent
I
people
represent
in trial for this kind of crime. It's like,
no, you don't even need to do that. You should say, I am a sought after representation for individuals' experience, whatever. You just don't have to say any of that. And I could make my own website and then oh, hold on. Here we go. Business idea. What if we make a website that just says that, and then people who want to sneak in to see their significant others
charge a membership, charge a partner charge a partner membership.
They're partners they're partners at our firm. Like, who's stopping us from doing that? Like, is there any I don't know, stopping from that? I guess that just seems like a realistic thing that we could possibly do. So, like, I don't know, that just seems like a good idea and a money-making opportunity when it comes to people wanting to visit their significant others in jail. Now, I would imagine too, if you're in like federal prison, I think they have like conjugal visits already. But I don't know. There seems to be a market for that. I like being on podcasts / talk shows and then fully fleshing out an idea while like in real time.
A hypothetical idea that will never happen.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm definitely going to do this.
Totally.
I don't know. Just if you're gonna be stupid, be smart about it.
That's funny. So, 178 people named. I should have said this before I started. 178 people named Hirokazu Tanaka break Guinness Book of World Record by all being in the same place at the same time.
How many people?
178. It's the largest group of people with the same first and last name that have ever been together in one place at one time.
This kind of seems kind of like one of your like retirement age goals of if we're talking about statistics. Like, it just seems like one of those, like, you just made up a record and decided to.
That's what you'd think.
Yeah.
But in 1994,
oh no, there was more.
The same name association of Hirokazu Tanaka was founded.
What is that?
It is the association that connects all of the Hirokazu Tanakas of the world, which I assume are all in Japan, but I don't know.
What is that specifically a Japanese name?
I think so. Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's Tokyo.
Do you remember the Josh fight?
No.
So there was a guy named Josh on Facebook, and then he friended another guy named Josh, and then one of the Joshes said, "I am the superior Josh." And then they invited more Joshes into this group, and then all of a sudden they met up. Let's see. The Josh fight was a virtual internet meme mock fight in Air Park at Air Park in Lincoln, Nebraska in 2021. Was the bottom line is a bunch of Joshes got together and dueled it out to see who was the superior Josh. That
Who
sounds
won?
like this.
Who won?
Josh.
Yeah. Yes.
One of the I feel
Got to
like
sneak one dad joke in per episode.
one of the things that I think is interesting about this particular story is like I wonder what Guinness Book of World Record you can break if you're just kind of making them up as you go. Like the world, like there's as many of what was his name? Hirokazu
Tanaka's.
Hirokazu Tanaka. Like, yeah, you can get all of those people together, but what percentage of Hirokazu Tanaka's was there? Was it 90%? Was it 60%? How many other of them are around the world that didn't show up?
That's a great question because I maybe I'm not that as familiar with Japanese names as I think I am, but I don't feel like Hirokazu Tanaka is that common of a name. Like that, I don't know, but
here's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
If there is a Guinness Book of World Record of 100, or if it's done by percentages, is there a possibility that I can gather 100% of the Joe Bobs in the world and then have a whatever it is with them? Like 100%, we were batting 1,000. 100% of all the Joe Bobs are right here. There'd be like 4 of us. There would be 4 of us and a combined total of 30 teeth.
What if you got all the Samoan Joe Bobs together?
I got them. They're all right here. They're all in this room.
That's funny.
Anything interesting with that?
No, they tried in 2011 to get everybody together. They had 71 people. They tried in 2017. They got 87 together. Whatever. But congrats to them for breaking the world record.
Well, this is a downer because I just enjoy bringing the show down. It's part of my passion.
Oh yeah.
There is a mountain in Oregon that has a name that you're not going to believe. Oregon's Umpqua. Do you know what that national park is? National forest?
Umpqua.
What?
Umpqua.
Umpqua?
Umpqua.
Umpqua.
Yep.
Great.
Ump like baseball ump,
Yeah.
and qua like qua.
I wanted to let you finish that because I was really interested to see what you were going to use as an example. You know, like the qua.
I can't think of another word that has that sound in it.
In Oregon's Umpqua National Forest, the process of renaming a mountain bearing a moniker for over a century has begun. Joyce McLean first heard about Swastika Mountain
Oops.
after reading about 2 hikers that were rescued from the peak in January. The 81-year-old couldn't believe that the mountain still had that name. So,
all right, to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll title this segment of the podcast, Anthony Defends the Swastika.
I could be very wrong in this. I guess my assumption, and I've never looked this up, but I guess I thought a swastika was a symbol or a shape.
It is. That's correct.
Meaning that it was used long before it was associated, that the Nazis used it as their symbol.
That is 100% correct.
So it's like the swastika itself is not to be feared. The Nazi swastika is.
Well, let me put it like this, though. If something is taken over by a group, especially a group as awful as the Nazis, I would imagine that the rest of the world associates that particular symbol with that group. And if they don't, it's their own fault because that's what society has deemed to be associated with that group.
The gays do this a lot too.
What?
The rainbows,
I was going to say, for example, if you opened a bar named Rainbow Bar, who do you think's going to show up?
You and me, probably.
It's not going to be bikers.
Yeah.
The Mongols aren't going to be frequenting your Rainbow Bar.
It's going to be a bunch of attractive single young women and guys that aren't interested in them.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. That's just what I thought was funny. This apparently is still a name. Now they're changing the name now, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, they probably should. But the main point I think I was trying to make was it was named like 100 years before I think the Nazis took power. Right. You're right. Yeah, it wasn't like 1943. Someone was like, we should name this Swastika Mountain, and everyone was like, yeah, that seems totally fine.
Yeah, it looks like it is that shape if you look at it, so that makes sense. I think we should try and steal like a very normal symbol, like a triangle or something, like a rainbow flag or a swastika or something. Is like they're a little like. It's not just something you see in everyday life, so it kind of makes sense. But like, what if you just a circle is for
what if we steal a symbol?
Right.
Like I don't know. I think
it'd be a good one to steal?
A hexagon.
What one was that?
The 6. The one with 6.
No, that's what I was thinking, because that's the stop sign shape, right?
That's an octagon. Think about it. Stop signs are squares with the corners cut off. There's 8 sides on a stop sign.
I'm not sure.
Shoot, I think.
No, I think.
Oh, now you're right. It is a hexagon. Oh, now I sound stupid. Hold on.
It's definitely
stop sign shape.
It's 6 sides. I'm looking at it right now.
No, it says it's an octagon.
Yeah, but I'm looking at 6. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
It's 8 sides.
We should.
So now I don't know, and I can't count, which is even worse.
We should cut this part out, lest the world thinks that we're even stupider than we actually are.
Yeah, but we're still probably smarter than the people watching this, because anybody intelligent would have turned this off long ago.
I don't agree with that sentiment.
Point being, how funny it would be to steal that symbol and use it with something supposedly offensive. And then all stop signs everywhere would have to be changed.
That would be awesome. Like, hey, did you know that the octagon represents anti-trans rhetoric?
Right. That'd be great. Oh man, that'd be so fun.
We can't have this.
Hold on. This is the Al Sharpton business strategy, but it's like you go and make something offensive and then sell the fix for it.
Yeah, you're right. Say, hey, unless you donate, you have been deemed offensive, and I think your company should donate to my nonprofit, lest we go to your company and protest.
Right.
Yeah, it is the Al Sharpton business model.
There's
a bunch of people probably don't recognize that Al Sharpton is a charlatan, and he's on a TV show on MSNBC now, and literally does that. He says, hey, I heard your company might be racist. You don't want us to think you're racist, do you? If not, you can donate to this link. And anyways, the mountain in the nearby town was named Swastika in the early 1900s, long before the Nazis, after the local ranch that bore its name was used as a symbol to brand cattle. So basically the Nazis ruined it. So
they ruined a lot of stuff. So
yeah, F the Nazis, in case that wasn't clear. So anyways,
hold on. But I think there's people who have made things better too. Like, you don't have to steal a symbol and make it worse.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I would argue that the gays have made the rainbow flag better.
Take this, the peace sign. There are people that the peace sign is ubiquitous around the world. It's just holding up 2 fingers, and then someone decided that means peace. Why? Oh, because it looks like the letter P? No.
I would say the same thing about the middle finger. It was just a boring old finger before. Now it's
hilarious. What else?
Can we move on?
I was thinking it's funny. Board members will vote on the name change in December after a 60-day comment period, gathering input from the tribal authorities in the state.
Please tell me you have those comments. Please tell me those comments are available.
No, it's the period's not closed yet.
All right, we'll circle back on that one.
No, we won't.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so Iowa man claps 1,140 times in 1 minute to set the world record.
That's cool. I don't care.
I don't either, but it's
Do you know how they do
wild
it?
to watch.
Well, I haven't seen this particular video, but they do like this and they go back and forth.
Yeah, that's literally what he did. But it's like, congrats.
Yeah, you see how good I was at that?
Yeah, you did it for 10 seconds and did 16 claps. Nice.
Oh no, I did at least 100.
This guy would have had like 400 by now.
Okay, do you have a video?
Yeah, I got a video.
Okay. Are we gonna see the video, or are we gonna put this in post?
We might.
I think I know what it looks like. I've seen people do this sort of thing before.
It's not that. We'll put it in post. It'll be right here. And we're back.
That was great. That was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's
wow,
so amazing! I couldn't believe the clip.
You know what you could do, and I'm not giving you a suggestion to do this, but you could very, very easily put whatever video you want in there, and then clip me saying that's the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's just some 4-year-old farting with their armpit.
Somebody naming Swastika Mountain. Which, if you only see one clip of this episode, that will not make sense. This only makes sense if you watch the whole thing. So I didn't think of that when I said something.
What I'm going to get in trouble with at some point is just somebody taking something that I say wildly out of context. Like, and that is why I punch every squirrel in the face that I see. And like something like that'll be like played on whatever talk show. And then they'll clip out the first part where I said, and that's why I hate people that say this.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Yep. So I don't know that claps is that exciting or that we need to beat this to death, but just yet another Guinness Book of World. I guess I didn't
realize that that was like a thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that we talked about 2 world records today. So
wait, who was the? Oh, you're well, okay. Hiroshima Tanaka.
Hirokazu, not
Hirokazu. All right. I don't know. Hiroshima. Yeah, that was not. Whoops.
Feels like we should wrap this episode up.
Well, thanks for watching or not, I guess.
We'll try to do better next time.